From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher, and their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher, and our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Scripchuk. Their mission: to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training podcast. I'm the only host for this episode. My name is Bill.
Just
But
you
I have
and
a guest. I have a guest.
Oh, we're so lonely right now.
I know, but you know, if there's one person that I can literally just pull the string and the hour will go by, it's our guest, Adam Jabaay from GridLife. Welcome back, Adam.
You just asked me if we should like pre-assign some topics or like talk about things or just wing it like always. I'm
Run it live.
not like pre-planning a conversation.
No, I think between the two of us, we're getting close to 2,000 episodes. So, you know, we should be able to talk for an hour without pretty much a hassle there.
Many, but how's things with you? How's the East Coast doing? How's cheap car enduros? How's life?
Post Christmas festivities, I think both of us had like 15 different reasons why we kept delaying this podcast. So, you know, we were supposed to be pre-Christmas, but, you know, things happen. Middle of January, it's before this Christmas coming up. Mia just went back to school, prepping the car for next season. Gonna have Scott Robertson and Becky are going to be helping us out, both Vicki and I. So we may actually be somewhat decent next year. Who knows?
Very
So Adam, I figured we'd start with the soft one. Why do you hate Road America?
I do not hate Road America. It's one of my favorite things to race, actually, and to host even. Yeah, the entire GridLife world kind of exploded.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, they got a little bit mad at us that we weren't going back to Road America. We're swapping it for Watkins Glen this year. But a big portion of it came down to like, and we talked about it in the State of the Grid at PRI. I think I talked about it in like we did one. I've done a couple of podcasts. I don't even remember which ones they were. Ours, Slip Angle, and something else. But like effectively, like the last three.
Was it Dewey's? One of Dewey's? Or you came on to Dewey's, I think.
Maybe I gave a statement to Heat Exchanger. I don't even remember. I think it might have been that. It might have been a statement to the Heat Exchanger podcast. Like I gave Houghton a statement and he read it on that podcast. But effectively, like for 3 years, we've been operating 2 years, 3 years, 2 years. We've been like on a agreement that like we never loved and we knew would be a really tough swing. But the board of Road America kind of forced the staff of Road America into this agreement, and they forced us into this agreement. Like, so, all right, so we'll swing hard. We'll try this agreement, and it was a rev split, and the rev split just really wouldn't work out very good. Like, it didn't work out great for us. So we almost got to the point where we needed to be, which was the break-even point last year.
As in not losing money, yes.
Yeah, break-even point means you're not losing any money. But and we had like 12,000 people there on Saturday or something. Yeah. It was a huge event. It felt great. Everybody thinks you're making $1 million, and you're still losing $152,000. So in like effectively we're in contract negotiation, and also we've been talking with Watkins Glen for years, ever since we were there. A lot of the staff that caused us some hiccups the first year has left, and a lot of the staff that wanted us to come back has stayed, and they've been pursuing us for years as well. And the date happened to work, and so we're shifting the Summer Apex effort towards Watkins Glen. Without burning any bridges at Road America. Like they were even in our State of the Grid at PRI. Friends, you know, the team at Road America was there. Like we maintain a friendship.
This year?
Yeah, at December. They were actually at our press conference. Like we're maintaining, nothing but friendship, and we want to work with them again. We've hosted there off and on for the last 10 years. We did I think I think it was 3 years of our season championships there. As it escalated into silliness, from like, oh, season championships to like, whoa, season championships.
Yeah.
We did a bunch of years. And then we did the Summer Apex events a couple years after that. So I don't think there's a world where GridLife won't go back to Road America like in the next few years. I think that's 100% in the cards.
Hmm.
But I also, I'm really stoked to reignite and like rekindle a new relationship and or an old and rekindle a new relationship with the team at Watkins Glen.
Right.
Facilities, like it's almost like the same facility but with a different shape. You can do as much there at Road America and Watkins Glen. You can you can host the same event. It's just kind of
Hmm.
a different shape and a different layout and a different crowd. Um, but I think this year is going to be kind of fun doing a little bit more of a right coast effort, like a East Coast heavy push.
Hmm.
And we've been at Lime Rock this is our fourth year, we're going on our fifth year.
Hmm.
You were at a couple of the one or two of the NJMPs.
Both,
Uh,
yeah.
at the we did two or three there. I forget. I think we did two.
I think you did too. You missed one, and then we baked that one.
The really wet Watkins Glen festival that ended up being a rain out in early May of 2023. I forget. I mean, there's still a couple thousand people there. It's still a pretty rad little event, but this
Hmm.
one would be kind of a banger. They're real excited. We're really excited. The lineup and layout, and there's going to be like, I mean, the whole facility is huge. You
It
can
is.
camp what 30,000 people there overnight.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be fun. We're really excited about it. So
The first time we went there, we were like, "Oh, we'll just bump into you in the paddock. It'll be no problem. We'll see you there." And nope, I didn't see him the whole time, all weekend. Nothing.
we're pretty excited about the size and layout and just what you can do there. So Chris he's been to a bunch of like fish stuff there and some other big festivals there. And like that, the cool thing about that track is that it has a history of hosting enormous music events. Like
Yeah.
Road America does not have that history, and so it didn't have like the built-in client base and like festival goer and like
The
people
locals don't. They're not ready for it or thinking it's coming. Yeah.
had to pull that in there. But historically, there is over the last like literally 40 years, there's like huge music festivals that have been at Watkins Glen, which should be, you know, like that like car curious music
Hmm.
attendee, sort of the GridLife attendee. So hopefully that works out.
Should.
We'll know shortly. We're selling tickets right now for spectators, early entries. Single day or single event driver tickets go on sale on Friday. Season pass and gold pass have gone up. Um, and
How did those do? They usually fly off the shelves.
Pretty fly off the shelfy, so that's good. GridLife's not dead. We got a pretty full field already on track.
Anything sold out, or we still got
Uh,
spots?
the time attack I know for Road America or Road Atlanta, I mean, and for Midwest Festival, I think is basically sold out.
Hmm.
GLTC and GLGT actually has a really solid field for
Well, that'll be
both.
fun. That'll be fun.
Thirds field for both of those. Lot of GLGT uptake, which is like our new 9-to-1 part of weight, 8.9-to-1 part of weight, wheel to wheel class. And Rush has a whole bunch of season and gold pass. Gold pass is 4 or 5, and season is all 6 for the season. So yeah, so yeah, really really solid overall like season and gold pass ticket sales, and then single events go on sale like in 2 days, like I said. So
Awesome. Sounds like I got to get this one out. Okay. Well, if this is out before they're on sale, I did my job. If this isn't, then I didn't do my job. But that's fine. I've not done my job.
there's definitely some stuff sold out already,
Yeah.
and but yeah, also for the people that like are kind of curious about the grid life world and haven't ever participated or have only done one or two, there is always like that, like I want to get a ticket for
Yeah.
said event. And generally, if you are ready and you have a car ready and you have the weekend off of work, I can only count like on my 10 fingers and 10 toes how many times I haven't been able to, like, me and John and Abe and the other motorsports staff. Like, if you email motorsport at grid.life, if you email us and say, I really want a ticket, we're going to put you on our short list. And if we see anything, if we hear anything, there's a pretty good chance we'll be able to transfer a ticket. Like, it's almost inevitable that people blow up in the dyno, they blow up in testing the week before, they blow up in the event before, and yeah, you name your event, there's a pretty good chance we'll be able to find you a ticket. So
Yeah, they seem to be. So
cars do
so
explode. They
they
still
do. I think the worst part about racing is the car.
Yeah, and the crabby people. Those are
Nah, screw them.
hopefully we don't hang out with those.
No, they can go do something else. That's fine. So so that was the easy question. We'll
All right.
relax a little bit from now. Road America had to be addressed, and I figured we'd just start off with it. So it looks like you revised your schedule
We did, yeah.
towards less is more, but less more as well.
I lost you for a second, and
Okay. It looks like you revised your schedule towards less is more, but the less is more as well.
that's kind of the synopsis. Yeah. For years we've been doing too much for the team and probably too much for our drivers. Our drivers are way too loyal, and like our average driver's been doing like 5 to 7 events, which is a lot when they're like 3 and 4 and 5 day events.
Yeah.
Uh,
And they're not close to each other.
No, and generally they're going from like Connecticut to Laguna Seca in 10 days or 20 days or whatever. And then everywhere in between previous to that in the calendar. But yeah, so we kind of like, effectively, to be a business, you have to not spend more than you make. And we're seeing kind of like there's a couple things, like some of the smaller events, like Autobahn has been a great event for us for literally 9 years.
Hmm.
But it might make a few thousand, it might lose a few thousand, it might make a bunch, it might lose a whole bunch. It depends on the year. We're also like at capacity with that event, and it doesn't pay the bills. If you bring a live stream, like the live stream costs a large amount of money, and if you do all the things, like you can't bring enough spectators, you can't.
It's too small.
Yeah, like you just can't park enough people there. You can't camp them. The track is awesome to deal with, but like it's just not set up to do. It's not set up to do a 2,000 person event, which is kind of what spectator wise, which is
Right.
what kind of needs to happen in order to pay the bills for like a festival and like a full, like
Live stream. Yeah.
all the pieces, live stream, everything else. Yeah, not like a
Mhm.
music festival. Music festival really kind of needs to be double that
Yeah.
or more. Um,
Is
because
there any way you could have like a bus parking area and bring people in there, or is it's just landlocked?
probably not so much at that place, but realistically, like this is kind of our reset year. And we've done a lot of years where we've done some club and festival events, and
Hmm.
it's we need to kind of establish what we are, which is we're going to try to host really good events, really memorable Midwest festival style events, and then react a little bit in the changing economy to like what it is demanding, whether it's HPDE club style events or HPDE only, also, or like we've done everything the last 22 years,
Hmm.
but you can't be all things to everybody at all times. And like, if you try, that's like a recipe for bankruptcy. I mean,
Hmm.
anybody who's like started a business realizes you need to like focus in on what might work. So right now we're sort of focusing a little bit, but with a mind to in the next couple of years, we'd love to host more of what brought us to some of this, and like maybe refine and maintain these 6 festival properties, whether they stay where they're at or whether they move around, which like 6 is probably the biggest amount that we could host successfully of
Hmm.
festival. Um, we've tried 7, we've tried 8 of like festival-ish events. These will be 6 pretty large festival events. full spectator events, camping and music, whether it be real music or karaoke. In the case of Lime Rock, Lime Rock will be the only one that's like a karaoke style event because of the overall like evening sound regulations of the township or whatever. But I mean, if you've been to Lime Rock, it's one of the better parties that you can go to, but
It is.
and camping events that you can go to. But so we need to like keep building and establishing these things. And last year we kind of had a full reset as far as like budgets and staffing, and there was like a lot of upheaval. And so for many years we had like not done all the little pieces to know what we had spent on things. Like bookkeeping was a bit of a mess and staffing was a bit of a mess. So we basically spent the entire year turning this like large business from like a large hobby-ish business into like a real business that was like we could actually show it to ourselves next year and say, here's exactly what we spent, and here's what it costs, and here's why it costs this, and here's how we trimmed in reaction to ticket sales or like spent in reaction to ticket sales. We like it, we, it was a big evolution year for us. Like
Sure.
the long and short of it was like we were a mess, we're less of a mess. We're trying to really focus in on like what we need to do in order to keep the business streamlined and growing and
Sustainable.
sustainable is really the only word.
Yeah.
So sustainability and like just keep establishing the events that have worked well for us and like build those audiences and like best weekend ever, best weekend ever, over and over and over. And start to grow a few new things. Last year we had a really good year with Road Atlanta, with the collaboration with Formula Drift. We've been working with them off and on, like as far as like schedule collaboration for the last 8 or 10 years, ever since like the Formula Drift drivers started using our events as sort of like a piece of their sponsor package and like try to pitch to partners and stuff. So Formula Drift and GridLife would like collaborate on schedules because we share drivers, and we're trying to make both like their drivers and our drivers, the ones that we shared, they're trying to like build programs off of this. So like it behooves both of us to make it like collaborative in schedules. And like that kind of morphed into friendships with the leadership team at FD. And then FD really wanted to bring us in last year for more of like an all day spectacle for their spectators versus like
Pieces. Yeah.
yeah, it was like this event, that event, this event, and now it's just one big event for spectators at Drift Atlanta. So it went really really well last year. We had spectators walking in the door at 8 a.m. like sticking their faces in people's pits, and then it was like all day action both days, which is great. It might even stretch to more than 2 days, which would be excellent because that's a really packed schedule. So,
Yeah. I was going to say it's not like you're swimming in time because if something goes
no,
wrong or breaks or hits a wall or whatever.
Formula
Or,
Drift has at like 3, and so they need like 2:30 on to set up for going hot at 3. So we might need to start on Thursday. Well, a little bit of TBD on that one.
mm, Well, I remember when we first started talking, when we first heard about GridLife long ago, and your first episode on, you said that the goal was to have the events for your friends that they would want to go to. And
Yeah.
I think you've
Okay.
done a good job on centering on that now.
Uh, when was the first year that you and I talked? I forget.
It was 6 years ago, 6 or 7, might have been. It was
Wow,
early.
that's 1,000 years ago.
I know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
could. I'll look it up while we're playing, but yeah, it was a while.
it's been like that the amount of like learning and change and like the time since then from then to now. I mean, I feel like I've gone to college every year since then, and learned from the greatest professors, and all those professors have punched us in the face, like
Hmm.
over and over. And I really think it's like the School of Hard Knocks is probably the best school.
Yeah.
Very fun. It is also probably the most expensive school, but it is definitely the most real. So,
You know how long ago it was?
what was the first year?
It was. I don't have a year yet. I'm still working on it. But there was only 4 grassroots racing podcast at the time.
Really?
That was a long time ago.
There's
they're,
like
they're everywhere now.
we might have been like the second one.
Yeah, I think you were. I think you beat us. You were going long before we have, and thankfully you slowed down so we could catch up.
Cool.
You, you went gurgly. What's that, madam?
I said there was a little while where everybody thought we were cool, but
Yeah, that's okay. They still think you're cool. They missed the RV discussion. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, once in a while we talk about them. Abe and I did one a few weeks ago. We'll do another one in a week or so.
Really? Oh, I thought you were retired. I mean,
We did one a couple weeks ago. Shows how much you follow along.
I listen to everyone that comes out there. I am a subscriber. They just come to me.
Well, a couple weeks ago, there's a good one.
I think a couple of weeks ago is underestimating it, sir. I believe it's like a month ago. It's okay. It's all right. You're missed.
I'm trying to like find my personal love for the sport. I don't know if it's going to come back. But yeah, I
You,
mean,
you turned your hobby into a job, sir. It's not going to happen.
and a word of caution to like anybody who like has an ambition of this. In 2015, when we started like Slip Angle and that was like the second season of GridLife, et cetera, like 2014, in 2015, we got like Austin, who I started the podcast with, Austin Cabot. Like we were kind of like forced into being the MCs of GridLife a little bit. Like it
Mhm.
just sort of naturally happened. And a couple people, and then Matt Farah, and they were like, "You guys should do a podcast. This is like fun to hang out with you guys."
Yep.
So we did, um, and it like there was like a time of at the time it was like a moment that worked really well for me. I just had Emma, our daughter. My wife and I were like, we were young-ish. I was feeling real scrappy. Like I would claw at anything to get ahead. Like all I had to do was provide for the family, and I would love if simultaneously it could be part of like the thing that I love to do, which was like play with this dumb race car
Mhm.
and once driving on a racetrack. And then GridLife ramped up from like 2 events a year to 3 events a year to 4 to 5 to 6. I think at one point we did 17 events,
Yeah,
uh,
you were craziness.
18 events, including Honda Meet, maybe. And a lot of those were smaller track day events like Track Day Picnic or Taco Track Day, West Michigan Honda Meet, the spring kickoff, the fall, whatever we called it at Gingerman. I mean, anything and everything.
Yep.
But the over the past 10 years, like my daughter's 11 now, she was literally like an infant when we started the podcast. And when GridLife was our first GridLife, Emma was 9 weeks old. Like she was really little.
Yeah.
Um,
I listened
so
to
my,
them all again, so I went all the way back.
she's lived through all of it. And the first one was like, uh, we had like two planning phone calls, and there was a couple thousand people that like camped and hung out. It was like a glorified version of our Honda Meet event. And the biggest change was that, okay, we're going to have some garbage, but like we need extra garbage cans. We need extra porta potties. There's going to be more merchandise. How are we going to get the merchandise there? Okay. Adam's going to go pick up the merchandise in his F-350. I stole my truck from work, and I had a whole truck full of merchandise. And then we get there and like, all right, this is a little more intense. We're doing 3 days of on track stuff versus 2 days of Honda Meet at the time. And we forgot to call a tow truck. We had a safety team, but we didn't have a tow truck. It was a different version of Gingerman back in the day. So like me and my buddy Jason and Dan became the tow team in my F-350 that was also the merchandise hauler. And like everything was so exciting. It was like so fun. And over the years, like we accidentally started a sanctioning body, and then you get all the egos and like uh, this is what the seventh, and this is the eighth year of GLTC, 19, 20, 21,
Mhm.
24, 25, 26. This will be the eighth season of GLTC. The fourth season of Rush with us. It'll be the second season of GLGT. Um, and literally like the 15th season or 16th, whatever, 13th season of Time Attack. Um, And it just like there's a human evolution thing that I think at some point you build a community long enough and they start turning on themselves. I think you need to butt against that. And I think that's sort of the point where we're at, where a lot of the people have realized that like this is very hard. Uh, I'm mad at something because I haven't won or because it's too hard.
It's just not fair, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, we're like butting against that. We're running up against that natural wall of human ambition. I mean, realistically, every grid life is fine driver wise. They're gonna be great events and stuff. But I really want like this year, my personal focus is like to make the drivers remember that this is a really like this is special. It's really fun if you do it right. I feel like they are the ones who are ruining it for themselves and for others if it gets ruined. Largely, it hasn't been ruined, but there's been like a few circumstances, especially last year, where you get some finger pointing of like cheaty this, cheaty that, blah 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 blah. Where
Cheating and racing, Adam? What?
yeah, who'd have thunk it? Uh,
Never.
but there's been a few situations that have like it grosses me out. Like it makes me so mad that my friends are mad at my friends. Like I'm friends with like generally everybody. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty rare that like somebody's in our paddock and I'm not like even acquaintances with them. Because I make a point to go around and talk to as many people as I can because I think that's part of this. Like if you're not welcomed, you're not part of it. So everybody
Right.
should you should say hi to everybody. And if I haven't done that, I'm blowing it. And maybe you got a car that looks just like somebody else, and I thought I did, and it might take me a few events to do it. But one of us is going to try to be friends with all of them, or friends of like acquaintances know you, like, hey, what's up? Like, it should be a friendly environment. And then when you get to that point, it really hurts more when somebody points fingers at somebody else and it gets loud. And that happened a few times. I'm sure some of and some of it was like, it was well known last year where, somebody built the best mousetrap. And like everybody else. So it's hard to win. If you win at something that everybody's trying to win at, do you even win?
How many winners are there?
I don't know if
One.
but when everybody's trying to win and only one person does, inevitably nobody wins.
No.
Most because like the tide changes like for that person that did win. And we've seen that for a bunch of years with TC, which bums me out. Like you see people being like just non-congratulatory to the person that like they loved racing against for 6, 7 weekends, whatever. And so there is something to be like there's a project that I haven't quite found how we need to steer that, but like if I had a really good time racing against Bill for 5 weekends and then
Hmm.
Bill beat me by 5 points, the 5 points being beaten by shouldn't be what steers my entire vibe for the entire off season. Like
No.
I would love to recall the 20 days or 30 days I spent at racetracks, like hanging out with Bill and his friends. And there's something to be, there's some work to be done. I'm not positive where we're going, but that's where my head is at is like, how do we reclaim some of the joy, in some of this? And there's probably not a perfect way to do that, but that's where my head is at. So
Well, I think part of it, and this is external observation because we kind of burned ourselves out. It's not the 20 or 30 days at the track. It's the 200 or 300 days prepping the car and working the car and getting the car and traveling to the track and getting back from the track. And eventually, you wear yourself down, you get beat up and you're overtired and cranky. And if things don't go your way, it's not fun anymore. And sometimes you just need to pull back. And I think you guys pulling back on the number of events and the mileage, if you just did the miles between, if all you did was go from racetrack to racetrack to racetrack, it was a lot of miles, never mind counting prep time or back and forth to the track or all the other things that are involved because everybody, there's no professional grid life racing that I know of where they make their living with their auspices. There is one.
there's
Really?
people making their living at GridLife.
Really? All right, well, that's just foreign to me, but
Mhm.
it's
Proper shop doing it. Yeah, for sure.
it's hard to do. I mean, it's really hard to do because you got to have a side hustle. You got to have, and if you try to do this solo or with very few people, there's just so much you can do. And if you're getting your head beat in because the other people are doing better, um, sometimes you'll just burn yourself out because the days in between the race, you wear yourself out.
I look at like I've for years up until like literally like last year, I've been like a fan, like the biggest fan of amateur racing. I've
Hmm.
never been super interested in pro racing. Like that to me, a lot of that feels like racing BOP, especially like in IMSA and stuff, like great shows, awesome drivers,
Yeah.
but a lot of BOP gaming. Same thing with like a IndyCar or whatever. Um, it to me, it's not like I'd rather follow Spec Miata because I know what the rules are, and like it will distill down who the best Spec Miata driver is or whatever. Um, and it's always been kind of what I wanted out of our wheel to wheel programs is just purity. And like, it's not easy to do that. It gets really, really hard, especially when more and more people try really hard. And especially when it's non-spec. Rush, it's a lot easier. You can like get a
Yeah.
go no of how many times the ECU's been flashed and like did it weigh the right amounts? Do they have the right tires? Yeah, it's probably legal.
Yeah.
But uh, over the years, it's been kind of the burden of me of building TC into kind of like the best possible parity for a mixed class or mixed mark, mixed style of prep. It's not a spec class, but it's all one power to weight ratio.
Yep.
And I look at like the the qualifying results and like the average race result, and I'm really proud of it. And I wish it was like perfect, but it's not possible to be perfect. And
No.
compare it to like Spec MX5 in Pro, and like, oh, so our qualifying is better than Spec MX5. Like our top 10 is closer than that often, and closer to Spec Miata or whatever. Um, but like the drivers putting the effort in demand more. They want it even better, always and always and always. And that exhaustion has like that's probably got me to the point of complete and utter burnout on racing, which I do need to fight back on in order to continue doing this.
Yeah.
Which is hard. Like that's the point that I'm at. I'm right there right now. Is like, what do I want to do? Do I want to do this for more than 1 year at a time and convince myself to keep doing it? If I never went to a racetrack ever again, would that be fine? Like that's where my head is at right now.
And it's
Uh,
not even like you're worn out from half the season or anything. You're still
oh no, I haven't
in the
gone
preseason, sort of.
several months, and I loved being at pit race for one of the last pit races. That was our last event. I even took my car and I drove it, and it was great. I didn't race it, but I just like drove around some practices and qualifying, and it was fun.
Yeah. Pit race
But
was awesome.
there is like there's something that's missing for me personally. And I talked about it in a recent slip angle, the most recent one, which now Bill tells me it was a month ago, so probably should do another one. But I for years I haven't had a streetcar. Like I haven't had something to like go get ice cream in or whatever. So I'm gonna build myself a streetcar, and that's gonna be my daily driver. It'll be my only car besides the race car if I keep it. But like I'm like struggling to love the hobby. And yeah, I'm in a weird spot, but also like I'm very proud of what GridLife has turned into and what it has done. Even if it turns into like nothing, even if it goes away, like these won't be bad memories. Like these were
No.
still hundreds of amazing weekends. Even if it clicks off right now, it turns off. The yeah, the last 10 years have been insane.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you had showed 18-year-old me 38-year-old me, he would have been like, "What is going on?" Like coolest life I could ever imagine. And it was the coolest life I could ever imagine. And if it's done, which I don't think it is, but if it is done eventually, great. Like it was a good run. But I want it to go on forever. I want it to be I want I would love GridLife Touring Cup to have a 25th anniversary. Like that's kind of like currently that's my only actual like Man,
Cool.
that'd be sick if we could do another 15 years or 20 years or whatever. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's where my head is at. The sport is hard. I don't want our drivers to kill themselves and burn out, but you also have to save themselves and save ourselves from ourselves. So maybe like 6 events a year for a little while or right now is needed. So,
I think it's got a lot of benefits for you, and I'm interested to talk to you again. Mid-season next season. I'll definitely see you at Lime Rock as always, and maybe I'll go with the Watkins Glen.
I don't think
The,
it's not a party if it happens every night, man.
no, exactly. I think. What are the chances you could get a one night, Laguna Seca type noise exclusion for Lime Rock? Is it zero?
Uh, One night meaning like
Festival.
loud concert or
Yeah,
racing.
festival.
Probably impossible for music. Probably not impossible for racing.
That'd be interesting. Okay.
There is some. We've explored the language in like their community agreement, and the language they've done overnight enduros. Like they've done like pro stuff that like goes into the evening in the past. Um, Language doesn't specify a 6 p.m. hard cutoff. There is potential of racing into the night more than there is potential of like music overnight. Music is sort of like you're yeah, that's you're hedging into like a bit of unknown ask forgiveness territory. So
Uh, yeah. Well, they probably don't want to risk it just for that, but it'd be fun to have a festival there.
also the karaoke party, under the tent. Like the karaoke
Hmm.
party under the tent has become one of my favorite nights and one of most people's favorite nights. If they have gone to multiple GridLife events, if you've only ever gone to the karaoke party at Lime Rock Circuit Legends, that's maybe one of the more chill, fun, wild events. Like obviously the spectacle of like Midwest Festival with like 40-foot LED walls and like 10,000 people watching the concert is a thing, but there's something really, really fun about the karaoke party. It's really good.
Yeah.
When you
We've
get
never we've never
a
made the
couple thousand people
karaoke.
like drinking and playing video games and singing karaoke. It's not terrible.
No. We've yet to make karaoke and we've yet to make a festival. That's on the list for this year, though. We're going to get to one of them, maybe both. We'll see what we can do.
At very least, it's a really good time. So
Yeah, we'll give it a run. So, looking back, you were on in 2020,
yeah,
600 plus episodes ago was when we first started, came on.
yeah.
So,
That's the
interesting.
first time was in 2020.
Hmm. I mean, we talked for that whole season because I was talking about how to get a car into stuff, and you were like, fool. I mean, well, subtitle, fool. But yes, I was going to try.
2020 was pivotal in like I think a lot of the event space. Like if it didn't break you, it changed you.
Hmm.
It was until July, I think, that we could even host an event, maybe June.
Yeah.
Uh, So we were doing a bunch of virtual stuff. I found out about COVID at Circuit of the Americas when we were co-hosting at the Super Lab Battle. We had GLTC there for the first year, co-hosting with Super Lab Battle. And I found out about COVID there and we drove back. And that was like a misadventure of like my air brakes in my RV were freezing because it was
Hmm.
7 when we left Chicago. And it was just like a wild, crazy weekend. The throttle cable snapped and stuck like a 3/4 wide open throttle on the way home for the last 4 hours. And yeah, that was a gnarly trip, but um yeah, and then rapidly we descended into stupidity for two,
Hmm.
3. Then we couldn't host events, and then I think we canceled NCM. That was the only event we've ever canceled, and we were forced to do that, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, what a lot of changes. And then I mean, the culmination of that year was we couldn't get camping permits. We couldn't do outdoor concerts at most places. We didn't do any concerts that year. I think the last event of the year was October-ish, and it was at Gingerman. We had like shifted Midwest Festival from early June. We shifted it to October in order to not refund all the people that pre-bought the year before or in the early part of the year. And those people showed up. A lot of them did, and they just camped and watched us club race. And we had big bonfires. And if it wasn't for like those few thousand people just like showing up and like, yeah, you got great camping spots. There wasn't that many people there, but it was still a pretty great event. We had some food trucks. It was a good hang. We even did like fireworks off of Spectator Hill. If those people hadn't like asked if they had like demanded a refund, we would have had to give it to them, and we wouldn't be a company. But those people showed up and like just hung out at Gingerman,
Yeah.
like thousands of them, and they just like I remember the RVs and the tents, and it was cold, and but it was also great. Like there's something really like hard, but also like really special about October of 2020.
So I had a couple people write in. They knew you were coming. One request was, is there any HPDE solution coming for GridLife?
We've got a couple of things that we have like we've always got our West Michigan Honda meet, which is like second or third weekend. Uh, let me double check, but it's July. It's usually second weekend of July, which I think it is. That's not officially a Grid Life event, but it is us. The the Grid Life HPDE world, it's not dead. It's not happening great right now, but largely that is because there's so many HPDE events that that can do a better job because they have more time in the schedule.
Yeah.
When you're trying to like put a beginner and intermediate advanced or like two of those beginner and like group one, group two, whatever, when you're trying to plop that into an already insanely full schedule, you end up like really making HPD suffer. And there's only a couple of run groups, and there's only three times a day, maybe, depending on the event. Um, or you relegate them to like Sunday, like we did for
Yep.
most of one year, which is like, I don't know, that doesn't feel right. So some of that needs to like we need to stabilize. Like as a company, we need to like figure out what we do well, and then like build up the next thing again. Because like we know we can host a good HPD. Been doing it for 22 years. Like Honda Meet's maybe my favorite event that we do, and it's just an HPD. Just real fun, real chill, barbecue at night, like great HPD, like four run groups, whatever, five run groups. Have a good time, done. But when you start piling it into like a heavy like what has turned into like a crazy national level competition over and over and over, like it's not a good environment for somebody to like have their first track day when like a bunch of other people are having their like literally Super Bowl. The California guys, like last year at Laguna Seca, uh, I probably had 15 of them tell me like, all right, dude, this is our Super Bowl. This is our world championships. Like this is that. Like it's just that like these things don't. It's oil and water. They don't mix well together. So um, at some point, it can't be all things to everybody. But we don't intend to not be HPDE again
I,
someday. So,
I guess the concern is, how do you feed yourself? You know,
um, yeah.
I mean,
So
others can do it for you, but they're not.
yeah, that there is something to that where it's like, did you cut off the bottom of your ladder and can no one service the top of the ladder again? I'm not sure. But also like we've tried it so many different ways. At some point, we need to try it this way also. So
Sure.
um, we've tried being everything. We've tried being something. We've tried many events of like no HPDE, but a lot of them. Yeah, I think there will be kind of a 2021 version of Grid Life someday again, but that'll be more of like a club versus festival round. But but we sort of need the environment of 'cause right now, like especially in the Midwest. I don't know about the East Coast. I don't know. I know about the West Coast a little bit more. It does seem like HPDEs have been a bit of a race to the bottom.
Mm, yeah, sort of. Yeah.
I can grab a random Saturday I'll rent it out to my friends. Now I'm like Johnny somebody track days and like Jimmy Jimbo's track days and like Speed something's track days and like there's and then they all like compete for how cheap they can make it. And then pretty soon everyone's losing money and they're all losing money. And they're like, well, I only lost 20,000 bucks this year, so I'm going to do it again next year. And then they're going to lose 25,000 bucks on their company. And uh, it's like a race to the bottom. Like it's like maybe you shouldn't race.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, that's kind of the market that we get caught up in California is like we know what it costs to rent Willow Springs. Like the big Willow cost X. Streets of Willow costs X or did when we hosted events there for 4 or 5 years. And like if you sold it out, you'd break even at the prices you were charging. Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
Track date. Like what do you like? It's hard to compete when somebody's hosting $89 track days. Uh, but I think some of that is going away, but also we've seen our costs go up like an average of 18% every year for the last 5 years. Like track days,
Probably worse this year.
yeah, a little bit at most of them. Track days are getting harder and harder to produce when people are expecting $150 a day and they rebel and scream at $180 a day. Like it's hard. Like it's really or $200 a day or whatever. But 150 bucks a day doesn't buy anything in the track day world anymore. So
No, I mean, the ones that we like aren't even close to that. So you really do get what you're paying for because some of those are just, a track day. I
yeah, I
mean,
mean, I've uh, I've been doing it. We looked at so Chris, my co-founder partner, BFF. His uncle died recently, and he was going through his uncle's things, and his uncle had came to all of our Michigan events, Uncle Dave, and Uncle Dave always printed everything out. And so he's like sifting through papers, and he found a schedule and like something and like the main page. Dave had printed out the schedule and main page of our third event ever, or fourth event ever, in
mhm.
like 2008 or seven, and it was a single day event, and it was 89 bucks or 85 bucks, and it was like four run groups at 85 bucks. And like that's impossible. You can't do that now. Like 85 bucks. Like I can't take my wife and daughter out for lunch for 85 bucks. So
Yeah.
it's all changed so much, but people still remember that. And then they kind of they hold your feet to the fire and they're like, how come it's so expensive? I'm like, well, because it is. Like it just kind of is. So,
Yeah.
and our insurance has like tripled in the past 5 years. And like our insurance bill every year is more than I paid for my house. Like
Yeah.
it's
So insurance tripled, tracks probably close to doubled, if not more, is just a guess. It's it's not cheap.
Yeah, and Coda's going private.
Great. That
Yeah.
that will do nothing but help
But
everything.
also pretty pretty wild, sick hobby still if you
Yeah.
if you want to do it.
Yeah. We could just, we had another person write in. They said, with the millions that you've made, Adam, could you buy Pit Race for us?
Uh, I would love to, but I know where that money came, where I put that money. It's in one of these pantses here.
Yeah.
So.
That's why you sit tilted all the time because your wallet's so thick, right?
There's something like that. There's still something about, I can moan, and I don't mean to moan. If I am moaning, I'm sorry, but still something about and I know you've had this many times, I'm sure, and most of my friends, I've had this conversation with a bunch of people, where it's like you've had a bad week, you worked on your stupid car all week and like
Hmm.
good grief is this hard, and then you had to like hook up the truck, and then like some wire was bad and you had to fix the trailer, and then like man you blew a trailer tire on the way out,
Or it comes off. Those are always entertaining.
or the wheel falls off and you have to no matter like all the hurdles you go through, even if it's a track you don't like that much, if you do get in, like there's no easier place to get into like a full zen flow state
Hmm.
than being in a car running around, even if it's just a DE.
Yeah.
Uh, there's no better way. Like to just completely erase like a year's worth of stress than to have like a great 15-minute session. To
Yeah.
me, it feels like probably uh, like when you have a good one,
Yep.
it feels like you can exist on that and like your baseline human stress is okay and manageable for like a full year.
Yeah.
You have a good
But
one.
if the world strives to make you lose your teeth and you don't get on track, those suck.
Yeah. If you yeah, if you just fight the car at the racetrack, that's a right. Yeah.
Oh, it's like just just take me to the dentist. Don't use the Novocaine. Hell, don't even use the sharp drill. Just sit there and grind on me a little bit. That would be better than what I'm doing right now.
A couple dull bits with no Novocaine. I don't even want to see
Nothing.
the
No,
clown on something. Take him off.
take them off. I just it'll dull the pain of beating your head against the brick wall that a race car can be sometimes. Oh man. But let's see. So new things for this year. You had GLGT, which looked cool. I think it was a little bit sparse.
Yeah, we had like often we'd have like 15 registered and like 10 start and like 5 finish throughout the weekend. Like so I mean it was like pretty good. Like it was exactly what we thought it would be. We'd hoped it would be like 20 cars, but
Mm-hmm.
like generally we'd have like 15 registered, 10 would start and like 5 would keep working on them and they'd like shuffle throughout the weekend and blow their stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we have more than that sold for every event already this year.
That's awesome.
That's growing. We're also like seeing some of the V8 crowd jump up. Some people have bought XGT4, XTCR cars, which slot in very nicely. Um, we I think we announced it way too late last year. We announced it at PRI.
Mm.
And, most people like the story we heard over and over was like, oh yeah, we already had our plans to go doing WRL. We are doing AER. We were going to
Yep.
do this or that. And yeah, so hopefully that was the bit of the curse, but it does appear to be like a niche hole that like uh does need to be filled in like the short sprint racing. So hopefully
Yep.
that
Yep.
we had some of the best battles that we had all year were in GT, like
Yeah.
some really really good battles. There might only been 10 cars on track or 8 cars on track, but like great racing.
Yeah. It looked like they were having a great time. It was just you just wanted to have more.
Yeah, like you don't get that kind of battle in a 70 car field, which we overdid TC for several years. So we have pulled the head number of GLTC cars down to like, all right, we're not going to sell more than 50 or 45 or whatever, just for quality of racing.
Yeah.
And that worked out pretty well this year, just to have slightly better racing, slightly less, okay, well, we got somebody stalled and they stalled here and they put themselves into the wall, single car crash into the wall here. And
Yeah.
some of that has sort of sifted itself out, but GT wasn't terrible. It was pretty solid this year.
No, that 1 year qualifying at Lime Rock with GLTC was that was
That was
that,
actually really, really solid though. There were
it,
so many, and they
it was
did.
solid, but it was like, oh my God, is this? I wouldn't want to be out there. I was just like, okay, that's past me.
It was 2024 you're referring to, and it was A main. We were doing A main and B main, but we gave a single 35-minute qualifying session.
Yeah.
So they could come and go as they please, and there was no car limit. And it worked, but man, it was chaos. And it
Mm-hmm.
was fun to watch, but it was also it was so stressful. Well, I distinctly remember like looking left and like hoping for the checker flag, and out it came, and I don't think we had even more than like 30 seconds of yellow flag.
I don't think it did. It was so difficult. It was like a lemons race, but 15 times faster.
Everybody did really, really well. But a buddy of mine, Greg Ami, who's like a longtime SCCA steward, he and I were on like a SCCA rules committee together. We've been on forums forever for 15 years together. And beforehand, he was like, good luck, man. This is going to be nuts. He was just there spectating and hanging out. And afterwards, he was like, I didn't think they could do it, but they did a great job.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, once in a while I can get lucky.
Yeah, I mean, all of them can drive. It's just I'm sitting there going, "Wow, this is tough right now." But
Yeah, just madness. Yeah.
so one more thing before you bid us a fond farewell and put in your overtime for entertaining us as always. Wanted to give a compliment to Kyle and who is ever working with him on everything that's going on with the video stream and the presentation. It is still, I suck up to you a little bit, but I mean it. You're still my favorite form of racing to watch on TV, and Kyle's just making it better and better and better.
Yeah, the amount of effort that goes into the live stream. We did switch like teams this year to a team out of Florida who does an incredible job, really rivaling the team that did the last several years. But the team that we used forever was kind of tired of traveling the world. And Kyle has really put in a ton of work, and he's also put a ton of work into the new driver portal, which is like a gridlife.club.
Yep.
Go to gridlife.club. That's kind of like our new ticketing management system just for drivers. And it also has like garages for all your cars. So if you have a Time Attack and a GLTC car or a GLGT and TC or your Rush and TC, and you've done everything like Jeremy Boyson or whatever, you can have a garage for all those things. You can just buy a ticket and assign things. You can move things around. It's got you could save your historical like your comp forms if you're in the wheel to wheel classes. You could there's you can save setups. You can do whatever. It's a really cool platform that he has effectively been building since September when we found out that Torque Hub was going to be sunsetting. Um, and so we needed to kind of rebuild what we had built in 2023. We had started to build this in 2023, I think, prior to our implementation of Torque Hub. But so yeah, that a lot of things have changed in the coding world in the last few years, obviously. But Kyle has been crushing a lot of things, not just the live stream, but yeah. You can't do some of this without, like, you can't do any of this without like a really good team behind you. And Kyle is, I think, our second longest employee behind our buddy Sean, who works more in partnerships and business development and all the minutia things. So, um, yeah, Kyle rules. Kyle's doing a good job. So,
Now we just have to get him out there on the track a little bit more. That would be great.
yeah, he's got a couple of cars that are track ready and worthy. He does. He's pretty good at iRacer. He can steer a car.
Yeah, he's no slouch. I think he enjoys broadcasting so much. It's tough to get him behind the wheel. So
A pit race. Like, I hadn't been in the stream in a while. He roped me into the live stream. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time.
yeah, he's a good time. Awesome, sir. Well, I wanted to thank you for getting this done. We both battled schedules and tried to get this done for more times than I don't even want to care to remember. But it's always good to talk to you, Adam.
The holidays are always hard. I apologize about some of my delays, your
Uh,
delays.
it's we both did it. It was fine. We knew we'd get it done, and the good thing about a podcast is you can put it out whenever you want, and there's always another episode next week. So we're good. No worries.
I appreciate it, man. GridLife
You broke up on that one.
said I appreciate it. GridLife official on all the things, I think.
Yep. Thank you, Adam. You have a great night.
Too, man.